So as I said, guys, I can't tell you how important it is for you to be here. I just want to talk about three things. And I'm going to try to be fast, which is difficult for me because I know I'm standing in the way of the awards. Okay? The three things I want to talk about is business, entrepreneurship, and brand. And as far as business is concerned, everybody wants to talk to me about the recent transaction, acquisition of the MacMPH Group and a couple other smaller companies that we have. And let me tell you exactly how it worked. This company was started, Mortgage Alliance was started in 1998. It pre-existed by a company called Multiprêt in Quebec, who has been in existence since 1982. In 1998, MPH was a small brokerage company in Quebec. Mortgage Alliance was just starting. The principals of that group and myself and one other person who's from the U.S. who worked with me in my previous life decided we're going to partner together to start an organization to go all the way across Canada. We're a small brokerage, small shop. We had numerous different owners. Some of the owners were brokers in the organization. Since then, people have passed. And the way things go, their trust has an ownership in the organization. So we're going along very nicely. We were approached about 6 months ago by someone who just left a career in banking and said that they wanted to buy the organization. We said, we're not interested. We've been approached before. We've been approached for acquisition. We've been approached for part, but unless it makes sense, there's no point in doing it. After sitting down and talking for a number of months, we recognized the fact that Pierre Martel and myself, who are the operating partners of the organization, we've got some pretty good expertise in the brokerage side. We work well with people. I understand what's important to people. This person's had a career in banking at senior levels with insurance companies and banks. For us, it made sense because we're adding an additional value into the brokerage industry that we don't have, and most other brokerages don't have. The reason that we partnered with Luc Bernard to acquire all the shares of the MacMPH Group is because we did not want it to be business as usual. A lot of times when transactions happen, people say, oh, don't worry, nothing's going to change. Well, you know what? There's no point in doing anything if nothing's going to change. The whole idea of doing things is to change stuff. And for us, the opportunity here is to bring more value, more service, more revenue, more business, and a better relationship with the consumer to our mortgage professionals. In the past number of months, in having to get to understand and work with Mr. Bernard a little bit, his vision is very similar to ours. Find ways to help mortgage professionals compete more effectively against our number one competitor, which is not the other brokers. Our number one competitor has a branch on every corner, in every community, all across the country, and they've done so for 100 years. That's our competitor. Our competitor sends every one of your customers 2 or 3 pieces of mail every month selling them something. That's our competitor. People talk to me about database, how important the database is. Every day we give away our database to lenders. We need to understand it's not about the database. It's about what you actually do with that data of customers, because the customer decides who they want to deal with. And as far as I'm concerned, if you put an entrepreneur like we are, with the resources that an FI has, there's no contest. And I think that's where we need to get, and I think that's the vision of the organization, is to have our brokers do more, earn more, and have a business that's got enduring value. Okay? It's very, very important for us. The second part, I want to talk about entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship is changing. Last night, I was at home, and as always, everybody is scrambling to make sure we're doing things right, and today comes off well, and I'm sort of fine-tuning what I want to talk about. And my daughter's in the kitchen making a hell of a mess. Actually, one of my daughters is here today, and she was sort of helping make hell of a mess. But she's a photographer, and she works with a company that specializes in photographing food, and they work with all the major manufacturers all across Canada and the United States. Now, all these people, I know they have their own marketing teams, and I know they have their own product people and their own photographers, and they do all that, but they outsource to a little company because that little company specializes in doing something extremely well. And my daughter's a photographer and a photo editor for this organization. They work with lots of different companies, and she's setting stuff up in our kitchen and taking pictures of all. And she likes booze, cocktails, and fruit and all that sort of stuff she's doing because she's got her own business on the side. And she's got a network of people that she works with. She has her specialty, but she has a network of people that she works with. And I'm looking at entrepreneurship from 30, 40 years ago, when I knew entrepreneurship was it's somebody working hard, on your own, fighting Mr. Big. Entrepreneurship in 2015 is collaborative. Entrepreneurship in 2015 is finding ways of working together with people to help you do things better than you do yourself. So everybody in this room who thinks they can do everything better than everybody else, just like me, you can't. Don't even try it. Give it up. Focus on what you're really good at and find somebody to help you do the other things. Just think about this for a second. What if somebody, when Gretzky was 13 years old, decided, hey, you know what, you're not a very good defenseman. We're going to work on your defense. Hell with that. Go score more goals. We'll get another defenseman. And that's what we need to look at our business like. You can't be the CFO and the COO and this C whatever. If you're the person that's developing the business, if you're the person that's setting the vision of the business, you need help. And I'm not telling you to go out and hire people. I'm telling you to give it up and work with people who are available to help you. New entrepreneurship is collaborative. It's old entrepreneurship where everybody thinks they can do everything better than everybody else. New entrepreneurship is also a systemized delivery of services and products. I cannot be an expert on everything, just like the guy working in the branch can't be an expert on loans, mortgages, lines of credit, auto, whatever, GICs, whatever it is that they're selling. They can't. You can't. But you can get help. So that to the face of the customer, you're the consummate professional that has lots of value. All I want to say to you is that we need to work together. Because by working together, we all get better. So if there's something going on here you don't like, you got two choices. You can go, or you can say, hey, you know what, we're not doing this quite right. I think we got to try to do it this way. That's how our company grows. That's how our business grows. That's how we develop resources for entrepreneurs. So it's your decision. You're either in or you're out. And either way, it's okay. But we'd like you to be in. But if you're in, you got responsibility. I love this. I love talking about brand in the mortgage industry. Part of my background in school was marketing, and I've had the good fortune in a couple roles that I've had in the past when I was a lot younger. I was the senior marketing person at a couple different companies, so I sort of have an idea about marketing. And I've worked with Gray and Saatchi in the big companies, so I sort of understand marketing. And marketing really is a lot about research. Because somebody can say whatever the heck they want to say, but research is the truth. And one of the things that we like to do is to speak the truth. So the company that does the surveys for Camp also does some work for us about consumer brand in the mortgage industry. We actually have to pay for this. It's not taking out an ad or anything like that. It's actually paying for research. And we're a little disappointed in the result, because the one that really makes a difference when you're talking with consumers is unaided recognition. People don't like to feel stupid. So if you say, do you recognize this company? If it sounds like a company they should recognize, they're going to say, yeah. Or if there's a visual there that they think they should recognize, they go, yes, I recognize that. In reality, the one thing that matters is unaided recognition. Because prompted or assisted recognition really does nothing for your brand. Do you know who the most recognized mortgage brokerage company is in Canada, all across Canada? Multi-prêt hypothèque. And they're only in Quebec. You know why? Because they've been there since 1982. They spend money on advertising. It's a smaller marketplace. And they've probably got 50% share. Not just brokers. They do a lot of mortgage volume in a small area. In Quebec, yeah, if you're going for a mortgage, you either go to a multi-prêt or you go to a bank, or a multi-prêt or Case, or a multi-prêt or Desjardins, whatever it happens to be. So in Canada, the most recognized brand is a business that's only in Quebec. So anything else you hear, don't necessarily believe. We spend millions of dollars a year on advertising. We got some great commercials, right? And we've had great feedback on those commercials. But frankly, you know what? It ain't enough. We don't have enough money to build brand by advertising on TV. We don't have enough money to build enough brand, by advertising on the radio. We got to find other ways to do it. This is not really our brand. This brand came up, that A is some Kinko font on Microsoft Office in 1997. Okay? It's just flattened down a little bit. Okay? You know how much that cost to create with our marketing company? Nothing. We didn't have a marketing company. But it's lasted us. But that's not really our brand. That's not our logo. A tagline's not your brand. Or a fancy graphic is not your brand. You know what our brand is? This is our brand. And that's our brand. And we're going to find out who's going next year soon. And that's our brand. 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 That's our brand. That's our brand. That's our brand. That's Mortgage Alliance. That's Mortgage Alliance. That's Mortgage Alliance. Even that's our brand. I'm proud of that. I got to tell you, I'm also proud that we got the quirkiest director of compliance ever. If somebody, every time I introduce John as our director of compliance, I get a little nervous. It's not just about what he wears either. See, this is our brand. Right? This is Mortgage Alliance. Mortgage Alliance we're a family of people. Even the people that we use in commercials are family. One of the things that I've learned over the past 40 years, almost, you can't please everybody. And everybody doesn't fit. And that's okay. I think you need to be proud of the fact that you're part of the Mortgage Alliance family because everybody doesn't fit what we do. And that's okay. We don't mind. You know, yes, we got the best resources for a mortgage professional. That's our mission. They're going to be better 6 months from now. But more important, we got the best attitude and we got the best people. That's what's important for us. Oops. 2 minutes on your brand. How's our time? We okay? Okay, 2 minutes on your brand, right? One of the things that people don't realize is that you don't really determine your brand. Your brand evolves, your brand develops. You can decide what you want it to be, but whether it ends up being like that has nothing to do with you. What it has to do with is the perception of the people that see it, know it, feel it. Which is really weird when you think about it. But it's like life. Like once things get to a certain point, you can't control everything anymore. It's not you that decides, it's others that decides. It's other people that input. We can't manage anything once it gets to a certain level, or it becomes more challenging. So remember, your brand has nothing to do with what you think your brand is. Your brand is what your customers, your prospects, your referral sources, even your friends think your brand is. We asked consumers, like real research, right, where you actually pay for it, what would they think about, what they want in a broker is, we want somebody who's professional. Okay, that's great. What does professional really mean? This is according to real people. They want a professional who's accountable. They want a professional who is enthusiastic. They want a professional who's empathetic, sincere, and they want a professional to deal with somebody who's knowledgeable. And accountability, as far as the consumer is concerned, is someone who does what they say that they're going to do. Okay? That's accountability. I mean, you can't deny that that's what it is. Enthusiasm is someone who actually wants your business. You ever been to a store and it's like people don't want you there? You get the feeling that, okay, I'm not really that important. Why am I going to buy here? Why am I going to deal here? Enthusiasm is somebody who wants your business and somebody who actually likes to help people. Empathy is somebody who understands their situation and cares about them. Understanding means you have to ask a few questions. Sincerity is someone who's genuine and trustworthy. Knowledgeable is someone who's well-informed, an expert who can guide or advise them. And I just want to let David Goncalves know that being a sharp dresser did not make the top 10. And I just want to let Kevin Mercier, Dave Gertz, and Tony Leung, and Joe Pinero know that good hair did not make the top 10 either. The other thing about brand, it has to be experienced to be perceived, unfortunately. Brand is not something that you build purely by advertising. Brand is something that you build by experience. Like, I'll give you an example. There's two ways. You either have to experience it, or somebody that you like, or somebody who has influence over you, or somebody that you trust has to tell you it's okay. That's how you build a brand. Lululemon. Yeah. I finally last summer bought some Lululemon stuff. I'm sorry. I swore I would never buy Lululemon stuff, but finally enough people said, no, you gotta try this, you gotta try this, you gotta try this. I bought some Lululemon stuff. Those long sleeve shirts? They're great. I love them. I bought 5. I love them so much. But that's a brand you have to experience. I had no interest in Lululemon, except people are telling me, you gotta try it, you gotta try it. There's really good stuff, you gotta buy it. Starbucks. There's people that will tell you Starbucks has great coffee that don't even drink coffee. How the hell do you know it's got great coffee? You drink tea. Because somebody said, somebody I like, somebody you trust. It's like jeans, right? You see somebody who looks good in a pair of jeans and say, I wonder if those look good on me. That's the whole idea behind celebrity endorsements. They try to tie the celebrity to somebody who you trust in endorsing something. So a brand really has to be experienced somehow. Either you have to experience it yourself, or enough people that you trust have to say it's a good thing so that you start believing it's a good thing. So how do you prove accountability? That's pretty freaking hard. There's a way you can prove accountability. If every time you meet somebody, in a business sense, I'm going to take your information, I'm going to send you something every week, every month, whatever it happens to be, okay, to keep you informed about the financial services industry in Canada. What happens after 6 months? And they've received this every week or every month or whatever. What happens? You've built accountability. Here's somebody who does what they say they're going to do. It doesn't matter if you're sending it or not. Hopefully you're not sending it because hopefully you're out building more business. But you can prove accountability by doing what you say to someone. So in our business, in our environment, it's putting them on the weekly rate advisor, the weekly mortgage advisor, or putting them on a monthly CC, or a couple of exciting new programs I think Yasmin's probably talked to you about. You know something little. Like, we send out a mortgage advisor every single week. You know what the open rate on that thing is? 25%. You know what the open rate on most email campaigns is? Under 5. What does that tell you? They want it? If you send it to them on a regular basis, you prove some sort of accountability. That's just one example of proving accountability, because you got to show people that you're you got to show people that you're accountable, or they're not. You got to show people that they're accountable, or they're not going to want to deal with you. Excuse me while I put my stuff back together. Yeah, it's just in my pocket. How do you show enthusiasm? How do you show somebody that you want their business? Not, here's my card, call you when you need me. That's what everybody else does. You got to ask for their business on a regular basis. That's how they know that you actually want their business. So while they're on any sort of communication program, that we have several, you've got to make sure part of that is, hey, remember, I'm there if you need me. If you need help with this, don't forget to call. If you got somebody in this circumstance, I can help them. You're enthusiastic about what you're doing. How do you express empathy? Ask for feedback. Personalized messages. Like for example, CC's going out today. Right? The CC, I forget how many hundreds of thousands of people this stupid thing goes to, but it is the most incredible piece of communication since we started making it timely. The one that's going out today is about the quarter-point Bank of Canada rate cut. Now, anybody can send something out about the quarter-point Bank of Canada rate cut. What we're doing is explaining to customers what that really means to them. Or what's going on with oil prices. How is that possibly going to affect the business, your mortgage? That's empathetic, because you're answering questions that they watched it on the national news on Sunday night. They're not really quite sure what it means. They heard a whole bunch of people talking about Bank of Canada dropping a point or a quarter point on the rate. Okay, but what does that really mean? These people don't live this every day like we live it every day. Your job is to explain things, and when you start explaining things, people realize, shit, they're listening. That's how you express empathy. Sincerity, well, this one's up to you. I'm out. Sincerity is like putting the interests of the customer first and putting their satisfaction before your paycheck. It's openness about the process. You know, one of the things I love as part of a presentation with a customer is actually telling them what's going to happen, telling them what you're going to do for them. This is exactly what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. Openness about the process. Exhibit sincerity. And I think we're doing a really good job with some of the boss things and some of the lion's share things. And I think it's absolutely incredible. Demonstrating expertise. How do you demonstrate that you're an expert? Well, you demonstrate that you're an expert by providing information to the consumer when they need it. Information that helps them interpret. We talked a little bit about that. I talked about the weekly advisor having a 25% open rate. The monthly CC has a 35% open rate. Like, it's ridiculous how successful those things are. You should be using it. We're rolling out a couple programs. A brand new impact program. First class all the way, right? And I think you're really going to enjoy it. We're also rolling out a program for prospects specifically. The difference between a prospect and a transaction customer is the transaction. They're both the same, except a transaction customer has a transaction. Once they have a transaction, they got impact dates, right? And the impact dates are anniversary, renewal dates, those sorts of things. Before that, they're a customer with all the same needs, except they don't have the impact days. So now we've got a program for those people as well, for prospects and referral sources. It's really quite exciting. Each of us already has a brand. Every single person I'm looking at in this room has a brand right now. I'm going to pick on somebody many of you know. Krista Mitchell. Okay? Tell me something about Krista. Just shout it out. What? Boss? Boss? What? Boss lady. Boss lady. That's her brand. Okay? If somebody asks me about Krista, Krista's happy. Helpful. All those things are wonderful about Krista. If I asked you the same thing about Joe Panero, what would you tell me? Some great hair. I think that's a big part of his brand. Great hair, great teeth. Hey, I'm Joe. What is it? How you doing? What I'm trying to say to you is that everybody in this room has a brand. Everybody, you already have a brand. And frankly, I don't want you to mess with your brand. I don't want you to develop something different, develop something new. Take what you have and use that brand. You spent a number of years building this. If you're happy with it, we don't want you to change it. We just want to help you make it better than it already is. Using the tools and resources in the system, from whether it's BOSS or whether it's Lion's Share or whether it's Impact Program. Your brand is already there. You already have it. No need to reinvent. That's about all I have to say today. I want to thank you very much for listening. In my experience, and I say this without bias or prejudice, you guys are the best mortgage brokers in Canada, without doubt. Because not only are we individually successful, we actually care about each other. And that's really something special. So thanks very much for being here. Now let's get on with the more important stuff.